Well, the empire has struck back. The United States has conducted the first of what they're saying are going to be a few retaliation strikes on the IRGC. I'm Everyman Prepping, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we know so far on these attacks that happened Friday afternoon or Friday evening, depending when you're watching this video. So not much information going out, but we have some targets, some locations, and I have a couple quick videos. We'll go through them, a couple statements by Biden and Secretary Austin. Just give you an update of where we are right now and some, commentary by me and what some of their decisions, what impact they're going to have. So continuing on here real quick, we have this put out by Fox News. Not sure how much I trust the legitimacy of it, but we're going to use it because that's what we have right now. The U.S. strikes against Iran proxy groups. So you can see the little red explosion dots. That's where they say the sites were hit. You'll see in Secretary Austin's memo that he said 7 sites were hit with 85 targets, but you can see none in Iran. We're going to talk a little bit about that after we read the president's statements. So why don't we go ahead and switch on over to those. As we do this, please share this video, get it out there, like it, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. So this is from the President of the United States, and what he's putting out is he said, this past Sunday, 3 Americans were killed in a drone attack and up to 40 are injured. And you'll hear this a lot coming up. They attacked the IRGC, stands for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So you're going to hear that a lot. So if you hear that IRGC, that's who they're going after, and they established themselves in Iraq and in Syria. So it says, this afternoon, at my direction, the U.S. military forces struck targets at facilities in Iraq and Syria, and that the IRGC and affiliated militia used to attack U.S. forces. Our response began today. It will continue at a time and place of our choosing. You can hear that come up a lot too, our time and place of choosing. Seems to be a common theme they like to use. And then another thing they're pushing really hard is the United States does not seek conflict in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world. So you're going to see that as a common theme, and I'm going to have a comment on that in a minute as well. Here we got a statement from Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. It mimics the president's very closely. He gives a little more detail. He says, U.S. service members at President Biden's direction, U.S. military forces today conducted strikes on 7 facilities, which included more than 85 targets in Iraq and Syria that house the IRGC and affiliated militias that use them to attack U.S. forces. Then he goes on to say the president has directed additional actions to hold the IRGC and affiliated militias accountable for their attacks on the U.S. and coalition forces. These will unfold at time and place of our choosing. Hear that same terminology. They're on the same page. And then once again, lastly, it says, we do not seek conflict in the Middle East or anywhere else, but the president will not tolerate attacks on American forces. And then let's go to a video. I'll let it play here in the background. That's one of 2 I have that you can kind of just see. These are secondary explosions coming out. It's not air defense coming up, but it's secondary explosions from munitions or whatever they hit. Anyway, so the common theme, well, first of all, no attacks inside of Iran at all. Just Iraq and Syria. So who does that benefit? What does that do? Well, in my opinion, I think Iran is the winner here. Not for the fact that they just weren't attacked. Obviously you don't lose, people, munitions, equipment, all that. But it makes them look strong. It makes it look like the United States fears going into Iran. And Iran can now say to their militia, the IRGC and all their supporters, the United States is afraid to go into our country. Our air defense would have taken them out. We can defend it. Look what we can do in the Middle East, and the United States won't do anything to us. And that might be true. So I think this really heavily favored, Iran. Remember, the United States, the only wars, the Persian Gulf War, Afghanistan, all that, were in countries where there was no opposition. They had control of the skies, king of the air, all that. They didn't have to worry about being shot down. They didn't have to worry about air defense. Well, that's not true in Iran. And is that what they're afraid of? Maybe they're apprehensive. I don't know. But by not going in there, yeah, you maybe don't spur an escalation further, but it also shows what I think would be weakness. And I think it's going to embolden Iran and the IRGC and many other groups to further attack the United States because, well, Iran thinks they won't be touched. And maybe they won't. So I think that's by not striking Iran, that's one takeaway from this. And let me switch here to the second video. Here's another one watching in the background as I talk. Now, all this talk about, a time and place of our choosing, I think that's just a phrase they're using, meaning we're going to take the fight to you. Okay, that's fine. But the thing about, we don't see conflict in the world. That both of them coming out saying that, we're not seeking any conflict in the Middle East or the world. Well, that to me is also, I wouldn't say a sign of weakness, but it's not as strong as the United States have been. I would expect a statement saying, we're going to come for you no matter where you're at, how you're at. We're going to come get you. We're going to root you out. We're going to kill you. We don't want this fight, but we're going to finish this fight. We didn't start it, and we're going to finish it. Something tough like that. But by saying we don't seek, war, we don't seek, escalation, that's kind of like, please don't escalate this farther. Please don't, start a war. Please don't, It's just another sign of weakness from the administration, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Put in the comments below what you think about those statements and the terminology and the words used by, the president and Secretary Austin and all those people. But, we'll see if the second and third attacks come out, fourth attacks. I don't know how many they have planned, but let's see what happens. Let's see what they go after. Maybe they eventually decide they have to go into Iran to show strength. I don't know, but not going in and kind of the weak statement they've given. 85 targets doesn't seem that much for what, a shock and awe that the United States was been able to do in the past to shock its enemies, not do anything. I don't think this is going to do much. We'll see what the other ones do. It's not really much. I don't think it's going to deter much so far. I'm not really too impressed with what they're doing. Like I've said many times, I post about this on my X account and in the community section is, the Israeli IDF, they put out tons of video of, from the cameras on the planes, on the missiles themselves, showing what they're bombing, what's exploding, all that. Well, we haven't seen any of that from the U.S. I'd like to see some of this from this attack. Show us what you're destroying. Show us what you're going after. We need to see it to believe it kind of thing. Are you just pounding sand or are you actually doing good? So that's something I'd like to look for. So that's all I have for you. Hopefully you got some out of this. When I get more information, I will put out a video, some more postings, all that great stuff. Until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.